Hey, I'm Michael Linden. I'm an honors finance student from Gainesville, Georgia. I grew up really close to my dad, and my dad loved to talk about finances and like watch MSNBC and all those things. And so I would always, sit down with him, watch those things with him, and try to understand a little bit more about that side of the world. One thing led to another, and I became really involved in it, and I started to understand things that people at my age probably should not understand. And so when it was time to pick a major, my dad was like, "You've already been doing this for a while, why not just keep going with this?" So that's why I chose finance. So how it all started was I was early for my financial accounting class, and so I walked into the OPC early just to hang out. I work as a PI there, but I really didn't have a reason to be in the office that day because that was not a day that I taught. So I was just sitting at one of the tables, and Miss Marianne came over to me. She was like, I've never talked to her before. She just goes, "Hey, what are you doing right now?" I go, nothing. And she goes, "Well, do you have time to do a mock interview?" I said, "Well, I got class in 40 minutes. I'm wearing, shorts and a t-shirt. I'm not ready at all to do a mock interview." She's like, "Oh, you'll be fine. Just as long as you come in and do it, you'll be fine." Okay. So I walk in, I start, talking with a Southern Company representative over Zoom. And she just kind of goes over and says, "All right, that's pretty much the mock interview. We'll treat it just like a regular interview. And then at the end, we'll give you feedback and tell you what you did right, what you did wrong." I'm like, okay. And so for me, there was really no stress because it was a mock interview. I knew I was going to do it 2 minutes before I did it. That kind of helped chill the nerves a little bit. We started talking to her. I started talking to her about how I was in the honors college, the work that I do with SGA, work I do with PI. I went over a little bit of my volunteering experience I did a lot in high school. Kind of just elaborated on those, the skills that those helped me develop, and things like teamwork and critical thinking that I also developed through that. And at the end of it, she kind of stepped back and went, "I was not expecting that. The only thing I would tell you to do is this little thing right here." She goes, "Other than that was a great interview." And I was like, "Well, I appreciate it." And by that time, I was like 10 minutes away from my class, so I just said, "I'm sorry, but I gotta go to class." Went to class, came back. Miss Marianne came over and asked if I could send them my resume. I was like, "Yeah, sure, I'll send them my resume." Sent them my resume, and 2 weeks later, I get a notification that I've been in the applicant pool for this Southern Company internship over the summer. I'm like, that's pretty cool. So I go to the first round of interviews, and afterwards I call my dad, because I always talk to my dad about these business things. I'm like, "Dad, I don't know. I don't know if I got it. I don't know if I'm gonna move on to the next round. I don't know." And he just goes, "Well, you just gotta keep going and see." I got an email back that I made it into the second round. And so, but for the second round, you needed to go to a Q&A with all the other applicants. It was over Zoom. So over Zoom, go there. I'm one of 2 sophomores out of 40 people in the group. Everyone else is a junior or senior. I'm the only one from Auburn. The only other sophomore that was from Georgia Tech. So I'm getting even more nervous as time's going on. Everyone else has their time to ask their questions, and their questions are about specific things here and there, and mine are just about what do you enjoy most about your job. And so I'm getting a little shaken. Then the next day at 8 a.m., I have my second round interview. And so I kind of prepare myself, do my research, I know their company values, things like that. And so I go into the interview, start talking with them a little bit, and try to display the best me that I could, even if I didn't think I would get it because I'm the youngest by far. So I started talking with him a little bit. I think it lasted like around a half hour, maybe 45 minutes. And then afterwards, I gave my dad the exact same call. I'm like, Dad, I don't know. Like, it's like getting 100 or a 0 on a test. Like, it's one or the other. But then like a couple weeks later, I got my offer emailed to me just from being in that office that one morning for no apparent reason. I have an internship this summer in Birmingham for the entire summer. 1 out of 5 slots, I think, is me. And so it's very, very exciting, and I couldn't be more grateful. I mean, I guess it was kind of like a right time, right place, right things going on situation, because the week before that was my resume assignment for Busy 2010. And so by reading my resume and rewriting everything, I was already warmed up with like everything that appeared on my resume. Therefore, I could talk about it a lot more confidently than I could at other points. What hit me as like a big importance for the story is the OPCD has all these resources that a lot of people take for granted. Even though I work there, I still might take a couple of those resources for granted. With mock interviews and all these employers coming in and out, it might seem kind of common, but it's not. And even though that some people would think like, oh, you know, this big company's coming in there, odds are they'll never hire me. Who would have thought? Who would have thought that something would have just fallen into my lap like that? And if I wasn't there, it never would have. So it's all thanks to God and the OPCD for making sure that I was there, making sure that I was ready.